light in the sky as Hallmark might depict it, this huge, obvious thing, because King Herod and all his advisors could not read the signs of the heaven. Only these Magi and their traditions. And so they knew the way to the place of the holy birth. And in the story of Christmas, it's a significant thing to note, because we first have the birth of the Holy Child, the shepherds and all those around Bethlehem that came to see this wonder. But now with the Magi, we have people from another land and another tradition wanting to come into the Christmas event, the holy birth. And they recognized, even though it was not their people, it was not their culture, but they recognized through the portents of heaven that something extraordinary had happened on earth. And when they beheld the child, they were exceedingly joyful. They fell to their knees. Now, these were awesome individuals of power and respect, but they fell to their knees before this newborn infant and recognized something extraordinary had happened. And they offered their gold, their frankincense, a fine incense, and the myrrh that was used for preservation. And these were symbolic gifts that they offered the child. And we might as well acknowledge, too, they were quite valuable gifts to the family. Gold, an abundance of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. In many cultures, this so-called Three Kings Day on January the 6th is seen as the time of giving gifts, as the Magi did. So they don't give a whole lot on the Nativity Day of Christmas. They wait until Epiphany, and that's when all the gifts are revealed. And so we remember these wise astrologers, priests, spiritual leaders, and they followed that light that led them to Bethlehem and the humble place of birth. Another thing that we can contemplate in our own lives. According to the story, the child was born in a manger among the animals that were there for protection from the night. It was simplicity. It was not something that was elaborate and in Hollywood style with orchestras and trumpets and all going on, but a very simple mother and father and their newborn child. And perhaps it suggests for our own realization about our own life, it's going to be in the quiet simplicity that we realize our truth, our power, our God-given gifts for our life. We may celebrate times when we achieve a degree and we graduate and we're given diplomas and celebrations, and all these things are good and worthy of celebration. But we're wise to also consider those quiet moments, perhaps in deep in prayer, the quiet moments of night, when a profound realization of who and what we are can come to us. Epiphany, that word, we don't use it on a daily basis, but it means an awakening, or we might say an aha moment. Or if you like to read cartoons, you'll often see a character with the light bulb going off. An idea. I they get it. A deep truth and power is recognized. This is an epiphany. Like many unity churches around the world in recent years, we use a white stone ritual that we will have a little bit later, that is an opportunity for us to capture this sense of awe and wonder about who we are. And it's not an awareness of our socioeconomic or educational status in the human world. It's about who we truly are. An epiphany. I am God's gift to the world. I am an expression of infinite life, individualized as James, as Claire, as Tim, as Larry, as Dave. The infinite made you, the spark of the divine within you. Every Sunday as you leave this sanctuary, you see this epiphany expressed in our windows as we behold the Christ in you. That's the essence. Rudolf Steiner, that I often mention, wrote 40 books, gave 6,000 lectures throughout Europe, started many initiatives, and he was once asked a question: what is the most esoteric, the most secret, the most essential awareness a student on the path can discover? And they thought he would reveal some sort of complex, rich teaching. And he said the highest thing a true student can realize is Christ in you. Christ in you. That you are not created separately from the universe. Oh, well, we have a Tim here. That's that. No, he is part of the greatness of God. He is part of life and worthy to be praised and worthy to be valued, and that is true of each and all. And when we come to a time in life that we're disappointed in ourselves, we believe we have failed, we feel guilty about something we've done, or perhaps the most essential, we feel a sense of shame simply about who we are. That is the time we go back to that essential truth. Christ in you. The divine presence. If you were with us throughout the Christmas Sundays, you know that we recalled the scripture from Isaiah that speaks of this holy child will be born into the world and given the name Emmanuel, which means God with us. The presence of life is not at a distance, it's in our very midst. And as the story evolves, the Christ brought the new idea. Christ in me. That God presence is not just in the collective, it is individualized. It is within each one. So what is this white stone ritual that we do today? What is it about? Well, it's about helping us to catch a vision, a truth that we can hold on to, at least through this coming year of 2026. It comes from the scripture, the last book in the Bible, the Revelation, or the revealing to John. In the 2nd chapter, we read, "To everyone who strives to overcome a limitation, Our band just sang about it. All the worries, they're always here for us. But all will be well. To everyone who strives to overcome a limitation, I will give some of the hidden manna, spiritual supply, and I will give a white stone, and on that stone is written a true name that no one knows except the one who receives it. This sounds like a mystery story or a riddle. So what is this hidden manna? Well, look at the beginning of the verse. Everyone who strives to overcome a limitation. Everyone who looks beyond the challenge, doesn't ignore it, looks beyond it. God will provide spiritual supply, nourishment, power. And further, God will reveal the secret name that's only for that individual. And what is this name? The name true for all of us. I am. I am. I exist. I have been given existence. I am, and then as human beings, we tend to add to that. And Charles Fillmore said, if you're having trouble in life, listen to what you're saying to yourself. And as in his congregation in Kansas City, he said, are you saying, I am poor, I am sick, I am weak, or as one of my friends said, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. Charles said, listen to these limiting ideas that you're feeding the I am, your existence. And he said, and then you wonder why things are not turning out well in your life? Use your royal name, I am, to connect to true statements. I am life. I am love in expression. I am creative power. I am strength, consistent, steadfast, sure. Connect that royal name to something of truth and power. So we go on in this understanding of this little white stone you will get in a few minutes. And in the Mediterranean culture and time, the white stone was given as a symbol, and it had different meanings. It was given in some cultures to prisoners when they were released from prison. They were given a white stone. That was their sign. I've served my time. I am now released. I am now free. In other cultures, it was given as what we call a voter ID card. This was the symbol that you had the right in that community to vote on the future of the community, to make choices. A third way, we know from the Greek Olympics how valued successful athletes were. And so in some cultures, the one who ran the race, so to speak, or won the battle, was given a white stone. And you know what that meant? Not just that they were a winner, but now they were given the support of the state. As athletes, they were now entitled to state support for their living. So this stone meant many things in different cultures, but it was always a provision, a privilege, a right, a power, something they could claim. So the idea, whether it be in Revelations You're given a stone that has a name on it that no one knows except the one who receives it. And that is the I am. Would you look at a trick of our language? None of us can say I and mean Claire over here. Only Claire can say I, referring to herself. It's a word no one else can call you. Only you can use that word, and only the Spirit of God within you can declare I or I am for you. That little word, only one letter, it's something very unique. Years ago, when I lived in Syracuse, New York, a member of my congregation there wanted to attend a very powerful workshop in Rochester, out of town, but she needed to explain to her boss why she should be entitled to taking a couple of days off from work. And because this workshop was about developing one's sense of their own life story, she told her boss she needed a couple of days off from work to have an eye procedure. But what she meant was an eye procedure. And the boss bought it, and she had her days off for her eye procedure, and she went and got a new vision of her life, of herself, of who she was in truth. And that's a similar idea to what this is about. So I'm going to ask the ushers to help by passing the tray around and simply take one stone. Now, while they're doing that, we're doing something different this year. As long as I've been here, we've always had a piece of stone from Hebron, from the hills in Israel. Well, it just so happens that the importer for those stones ceased production this year. They're no longer available. So I said, oh, that's not a problem. We just get to do it in a new way. So in years past, when we have written something after a time of reflection on the stone, we won't be doing that today. Just pick one from the tray as it goes by. And think of this as the stories from the classical world that I told you. It was a symbol for your entitlement, your provision, your right, your privilege. It's even come down to some of our cultures in this time. You've heard of when someone is blackballed, or they choose the black rather than the white marble, then they've been blacklisted, so to speak. The white is reserved for a power that is yours, that life gives you. So as you take this, in your hand, I invite you to consider this little symbol. I ask you to take it home, place it someplace where you will see it. Your car, your kitchen window, on your bedside table, a dresser, by your TV, someplace where you will see it often. And then I want you to just, each time you see it, hold an affirmation for yourself, silently or out loud. I am free. I am unlimited. I am the image and likeness of God, my Creator. Perhaps in the depth of your soul, you hear the timeless words that Moses heard on Mount Sinai. Eya asher eya. I am that I am. Perhaps like me, you grew up in these contemporary times, and you grew up with cartoons. One who was interesting is Popeye. Do you remember his motto? What he always said, and then he blew on his pipe. I am what I am, and that's all that I am. It was a rebuilding of those ancient Hebrew words. I am what I am. Contemporary stories we could point out, the beautiful lyrics that were popularized by Gloria Gaynor, who is a current Kennedy Center honoree this year. And she sang, I am what I am. I am my own special creation. So come take a look. Give me the hook or the ovation. It's my world that I want to have a little pride in. It's my world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Your life is a sham till you can say, I am what I am. Sammy Davis Jr. would run and achieve great fame in that song. Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong, I gotta be me. I gotta be me. What else can I be but what I am? This acknowledging and receiving of the self. So look at your stone for a moment. Hold it in your hands. Place it someplace important in your home or your car where you'll see it frequently. And whenever you see it, remember to make that affirmation. I am free. I am unlimited. To know, as the song said, there are always challenges. There are always concerns. Jesus spoke those powerful words. In this world, there is tribulation. There are problems. But be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. And then the promise of Revelations, for those who will attempt to overcome rather than give up, because what is before them, the obstacles, the challenges, the worries, if we simply attempt, strive to look beyond that, then God gives holy manna, that is provision. And God gives us a glimpse of our true identity. And that can carry us forward through anything. There's an old Unity psalm that was written by Hannah Moore Cohouse. She wrote our prayer of faith, we sometimes sing, but this was another song she wrote, and I really liked the images in it. The poem, as it was, reads, I am stronger than my fears. I'm wiser than my years. I'm gladder than my tears, for I am God's image. I am greater than my pains. I am higher than my gains. I am purer than my stains, for I am God's image. God, whose image thus I bear, and whose likeness I shall share, all such glory will declare through the I am, God's image. So I invite you, as we all step out together in this new year. There were challenges this very weekend, and more challenges will come to our community, our nation, our world. And we must make choices. We must make decisions. But most essentially, we need to remember our white stone, our divine gift, that we don't have to give up. We can choose to try, to take a step. That is the essence of our prayer for protection we end every service with. And we end that prayer with the add-on statement. The author didn't originally write it, but nowadays people add it on, and all is well. And I've heard people get a little upset with me after a service. What do you mean all is well? I have bills I can't pay. I'm struggling to get over an illness. No, it's not all well. And all is well is talking about this. The white stone, the secret name, your essence, your image of God. That is what can lead you around the obstacles, over them. Yes, you still have to make decisions. You still have to make health choices, prosperity choices, relationship choices. Yes, of course. But we can carry the power that leads us through any valley of the shadow of death. As Psalm 23 tells us, there is a spirit, a shepherd, that will lead us forward if we're willing to try. We are not dragged forward, pulled forward. We have to choose. But if we make the choice, then all the power of our Creator comes to work through us, with us, walks by our side, if we take the first step, if we look at this stone and remember its promise. I am free. I am unlimited. I can go confidently in the direction of my dreams, my truth. And so it is.